Orthodox Quickie question series. Today we're answering, what age should I get married at? Am I ready for marriage? Now I feel like people are expecting a specific number so they can cling to that and have that as their goal. This is so wrong in many ways and will only end up confusing and hurt you. Don't worry about a specific number. Don't compare yourself to friends or your siblings. There's nothing wrong if a younger sibling has gotten married first. And don't feel any pressure by all the tons who continuously, whether at a wedding or just in the middle of church, will tell you to move it on and get married and start having children. While there's no magic age, obviously we know that people tend to get married in mid-late 20s, early 30s. After that, there's nothing wrong with that either. The more you wait, obviously, the higher level of maturity is. And as we talked about in one of our other videos, women do mature faster than men, so that is something to keep in mind. So a 25-year-old man may not necessarily have the same maturity level as a 25-year-old woman. Now, some things to consider when you're thinking of marriage and, seeing if you're ready. We're gonna go over 3 main points today. The first one is spiritual stability. You've got emotional stability, and last but not least, financial stability. Now, the emotional and spiritual we do touch on in many of our other videos, and they also will require a great deal of cooperation with your father of confession, and also through things like premarital counseling, because that will help you and your partner understand where things are at, understand the role and involvement of Christ in your marriage, and how to continue that. Again, as we've talked about the marriage triangle, God is on top, you are on one side, and your spouse is on the other, and the goal is really that you both move together towards Christ. Now let's move on to financial stability, because that is a big one. Often I've talked to young couples who pretty much have thought of everything or think they have an answer for everything. So I will say something like, do you have a car? How are you going to get around? And they'll quickly say, well, we can walk, we can take the bus, our parents will drive us, our friends will drive us. And then something will continue on in the discussion. Where will you live? How will you afford living somewhere? Well, my parents said that we can stay in their basement. Or we found a really cheap room for rent on Craigslist. Okay, and then you move on to, how will you have money for your hobbies, for things like going to the gym, for activities that you guys want to do? And they'll say, oh, we're going to be newlyweds and we just are so in love, we are going to enjoy each other's company 24/7. We don't really need that kind of money or disposable income. Okay, how are you gonna cook dinner and eat? That's something people do every day, even after marriage. Oh, my parents live in the same city, and her parents or his parents live in the same city, so we're just gonna kind of rotate and they're willing to help us out. Are you kidding me? Those are many signs right there that you're not financially stable. There's nothing wrong with going to spend time with the in-laws or your parents. There's nothing wrong with joining them for dinner. But keep in mind that things like living with them, things like depending on them completely for meals and transportation or money are, again, signs that you're not ready. What happens if God blesses you with a child? These are all things that you need to consider. You need to have a plan for tomorrow. And again, that's where pre-counseling and premarital counseling, will come in and help you with things like budgeting. Everybody needs a budget and everybody needs to plan. Even if you're young and you feel like you have a decent salary, for example, these are all things that can change, unfortunately, very quickly. A plan is very important, and this is why you need to work on your emotional stability, spiritual stability, and as we discussed today, your financial stability. Hope this is of help. Thank you very much for watching Coptic Orthodox Quickie Question Series. Have a great day.